Let's be honest. You've been trying to understand her. Every move, every silence, every text that takes too long to arrive. You think you're decoding a mystery, but what if I told you? She's already decided. Before you even realize what's happening, a woman knows whether you're the man she'll let in or the one she'll keep guessing. Most men never see the signs because they're too busy chasing clarity from someone who's already made up her mind. You see, when a woman's heart opens, it's rarely with words. It's through small, almost invisible shifts. Her body turns slightly toward you when you speak. She laughs a little too long at something that wasn't that funny. Her eyes soften, not because of what you said, but because of how you make her feel safe enough to let her guard slip for just a moment. That's when you have her attention. And that's the beginning of everything. But here's the trap. Most men ruin it right there. They sense her warmth, her interest, and suddenly they rush in. They start proving their worth, showing off, texting too much, or talking about their feelings too soon. What they don't realize is that she wasn't testing your confidence. She was testing your energy. She wanted to see if your presence stays calm, even when her emotions stir the air between you. Women fall for men who make them feel something deep. Not because of what he gives, but because of what he withholds. When she starts doing things that break her own rules, that's your sign. She stays up late just to talk to you. She opens up about her past. She gets jealous of things she never used to care about. She's not losing control. She's surrendering trust, and that's everything. But this is where it gets dangerous, because when a woman starts to fall, her mind fights her heart. She'll pull back just to see if you'll chase. She'll test the silence to see if your focus stays steady. And if you panic, she knows you're not ready for her. The men who win her heart aren't the ones who chase her emotions. They anchor her through them. They don't beg for attention. They become the quiet center of gravity she can't escape. That's what she means when she says, "I just feel safe with him." It's not about money, looks, or charm. It's about emotional control, the ability to stay centered when she's uncertain. If she starts mirroring your habits, if her voice softens when you speak, if she remembers the smallest details about you, you already have her. But it's fragile. One wrong move, showing neediness, insecurity, or over-validation, and the spell breaks. Because the moment she senses that your world revolves around her, she loses the desire to be in it. You don't need to chase her. You need to master your presence. Because when a woman feels you're calm, she doesn't just fall for you, she trusts you enough to let go. Women rarely say what they truly feel, not because they're manipulative, but because they're terrified of being misunderstood. She'll hide her emotions behind sarcasm, distance, or even indifference, because she wants to see if you can read the language her heart speaks silently. If she starts teasing you, calling you out, or testing your patience, she's not pushing you away. She's watching to see if you'll stay calm when her emotions turn unpredictable. Every man who's been close to a woman knows this paradox. The closer she feels, the more she hides. It's not that she doesn't care, it's that caring too much scares her. So she'll do something confusing. She'll pull away right when you think things are going well. You'll wonder, did I do something wrong? But in reality, she's feeling more than she expected, and her mind is panicking. Women don't fall logically, they fall emotionally. And emotions aren't straight lines, they're waves. Here's the truth most men never learn. When she creates distance, she's not asking you to chase, she's asking you to stand firm. She wants to feel your presence without you demanding hers. The moment you start over-explaining, apologizing for things you didn't do, or trying to fix her moods, she subconsciously loses respect. Because you've stepped out of your masculine frame. The grounded, calm energy that first drew her in. She doesn't want you to fix her storms. She wants to feel safe enough in your presence to weather them. Watch what she does when she's near you, but pretending not to care. Her eyes will look away, but her body will angle toward you. She'll laugh at other people's jokes, but glance at you to see your reaction. She'll mention other men, not to make you jealous, but to measure your confidence. If you react with insecurity, she knows you're fragile. If you stay unbothered, she feels an unfamiliar mix of curiosity and respect. That's the moment attraction deepens, not because you chased her, but because you didn't need to. Women are emotional detectives. They feel energy more than they hear words. When you speak with calm certainty, when your tone stays low and your words are few, she listens differently. She feels your strength in your silence. And in that silence, she finds peace, a feeling so rare, she'll start to crave it. That's when she opens up slowly. She tells you secrets, not because you asked, but because she trusts your stillness enough to hold them. So if she tests you, don't fight it. If she's distant, don't chase her. Just stay steady, because deep down, she's not looking for a perfect man. She's looking for emotional safety. A man who doesn't lose himself trying to prove his worth. The one who can look her in the eyes and say without words, "I see you, I'm not going anywhere, but I don't need you to complete me." That's power. Most men think attraction is built through words, but a woman falls in love with how she feels when you say nothing. The truth is, you don't win her heart through explanations, you win it through presence. When you're calm, grounded, and silent, she studies you. She's watching the small things, how your eyes move when you're focused, how your breathing slows when she's emotional, how your energy shifts when someone else gets your attention. She's decoding you, and she's deciding whether she can trust what she feels. You see, women live in a world of emotional noise. Everyone's trying to impress, chase, or convince them. That's why when you come along steady, slow, and unaffected, it shakes something inside her. It confuses her because you're not playing the usual game. You're not feeding her ego, you're feeding her curiosity. And curiosity is the seed of emotional attachment. Once a woman starts wondering about you, imagining you, replaying your words in her mind, she's already halfway there, but this is where most men fail. They sense that pull, and they ruin it by trying to define it too soon. They start asking, "What are we? Do you like me? Where is this going?" They turn mystery into certainty, and certainty kills desire. What she wanted wasn't clarity, it was connection. The unknown is what keeps her emotionally alive. When you stay calm, she feels drawn to you. When you start demanding answers, she feels pressure, and pressure makes her pull away. The irony is brutal. The moment you finally get her attention, you lose it by showing how badly you want to keep it. Attraction is like holding water. You can cup it gently, but the tighter you grip, the faster it slips away. That's why emotionally strong men are so rare. They don't chase validation because they already have internal peace. Their calmness becomes magnetic, and their silence becomes seductive. A woman feels safe and intrigued at the same time, and that's the emotional paradox that bonds her. If she starts mirroring your tone, repeating your phrases, or showing up in places you didn't expect, don't underestimate it. That's not coincidence. That's subconscious alignment. Her energy is syncing with yours, even if her mind hasn't caught up yet. But the moment you rush her, question her, or make her feel observed, she'll retreat. Women don't fall for pressure, they fall for presence. When she feels your calm energy without you demanding anything, her walls start melting on their own. So, if she starts acting inconsistent, warm one day, distant the next, don't take it personally. That's her heart negotiating with her fear. She's wondering if she can trust what she feels around you. Stay steady. Don't react. Don't beg for attention. Let her emotions come and go like waves hitting a rock that never moves. Because that's what you are to her, if you choose to be. The rock in her storm. The peace she can't explain. She doesn't fall for the man who gives her the world. She falls for the man who gives her peace in a world that won't stop spinning. You see, women crave emotional safety more than anything else, but they'll never say it out loud. They'll tell you they want confidence, humor, ambition. But what they're really searching for is a feeling, a man whose presence calms their chaos. When she's with a man who's centered, she doesn't feel the need to overthink. Her defenses lower. Her laughter comes easier. She feels like she can breathe again. But when she's around a man who's emotionally unstable, who needs her to feel complete, she feels trapped. Because deep down, every woman knows if she becomes your emotional anchor, she'll eventually drown in your weight. That's why the most attractive men are not the loudest, but the stillest. They listen more than they speak. They don't chase validation, they give off certainty. Their calmness doesn't come from pretending, it comes from knowing who they are without needing approval. And that, right there, is what captures her. Because in a world full of noise, a man who's sure of himself becomes a sanctuary. But make no mistake, she will test that peace. She'll poke at your patience, question your motives, bring up your past. Not because she's cruel, but because she needs to know your calm is real. Every woman has been disappointed by men who only pretended to be strong. She's not testing to break you, she's testing to see if you're built to last. If she opens up to you, it's a sacred thing. Don't use her vulnerability as leverage. When she tells you about her pain, she's not asking you to fix it. She's asking you to hold it, quietly, without judgment, without trying to make her feel better right away. Just hold space for her emotions, and she'll remember that feeling for the rest of her life. Because every woman remembers the man who made her feel understood without words. And here's the secret. Once she feels emotionally safe, attraction deepens beyond anything physical. She starts craving your presence, even in silence. You'll notice her body language soften. She'll find excuses to be near you, to share her world with you. That's when you have her. Not because you conquered her heart, but because you earned her trust. Most men rush this part. They think chemistry is enough, but chemistry fades. Trust, once earned, turns into devotion. That's the stage where love becomes loyalty. And loyalty, real, raw, emotional loyalty, is something no amount of looks, money, or charm can buy. It's something she gives only to the man who's proven he won't lose himself when she loses control. So, if you want to know if you already have her, ask yourself this. Does she open up to you even when she's scared? Because if she does, she's already halfway in love. When a woman truly starts to fall for you, she doesn't announce it. She hides it. Because falling in love for her isn't a choice, it's a surrender. And surrender scares her more than heartbreak ever could. So she'll start acting strange. She'll pull back when you get too close, avoid eye contact, even pretend she's not that interested. But beneath that calm surface, her emotions are storming. She's fighting herself, trying not to lose control. That's why it's so important for you to stay still when her behavior changes. Because if you start chasing the version of her that's running away, she'll only run faster. But if you stand your ground, confident, unbothered, and grounded, something powerful happens. Her fear fades. She realizes she's safe to feel again. And that's when the walls come down. Here's the paradox most men miss. Women don't want to be chased. They want to feel chosen. There's a difference. When you chase, she feels like a prize you're trying to win. When you choose her without losing yourself, she feels valued without feeling trapped. It's the emotional balance between freedom and connection that ignites her deepest attraction. When she does small things, like fixing her hair when she sees you, asking subtle questions about your day, or finding reasons to text you for no reason, it's not random. It's her way of checking if the connection is still alive. She'll never admit it, but every woman secretly measures how deeply you affect her through her own reactions. If she finds herself thinking about you when she's busy, smiling at a message that wasn't even funny, or defending you when someone criticizes you, she's already emotionally involved. But don't mistake involvement for commitment. A woman's heart opens gradually and it closes instantly if you break the rhythm of emotional safety. That's why patience is everything. When you rush the process, you destroy the tension that builds desire. The key is to make her feel seen without making her feel owned, to give her attention without seeking validation. That balance is magnetic. It tells her you want her, but you don't need her. And once she realizes that, she'll start chasing your energy. She'll be the one initiating, checking in, trying to make sure you're still emotionally present. That's when the roles shift. That's when she falls. Because for the first time, she feels something real, something that doesn't rely on drama or games. She feels peace, and peace is addictive. You see, every woman fears being too much for the wrong man, but when she meets a man who can handle her emotions, her silence, and her storms without losing his balance, she finally relaxes. She lets go. And that's the moment you truly have her. Not her body, not her attention, but her trust. Once you truly have her, the challenge isn't keeping her, it's keeping yourself. Because when a woman gives you her heart, she gives you power. Not power to control her, but power to destroy her, and she's praying you won't. That's the silent fear behind her affection. Every soft glance, every quiet, "I miss you," every time she lets you see her at her weakest. It's all a risk. She's handing you pieces of herself she never showed anyone else, and she's watching closely to see if you'll protect them or if you'll prove her fears right. That's why emotional maturity isn't optional. It's everything. The men who lose great women aren't the ones who lacked attraction. They're the ones who lacked control. They let pride speak louder than patience. They reacted when she needed reassurance. They walked away when she needed calm. A strong man doesn't dominate a woman's heart. He leads it with emotional clarity. He knows how to be firm without being harsh, present without being needy, and quiet without being cold. That balance is what earns a woman's lifelong devotion. When she truly loves you, she becomes your mirror. If you're calm, she softens. If you're angry, she withdraws. If you're distant, she starts to fear you've already let go. She'll never say it outright, but she feels everything. A woman's intuition is sharp. It can sense when your energy shifts, even before you admit it to yourself. That's why honesty isn't just about what you say, it's about what your energy communicates. You can't fake consistency. She'll feel it the moment it breaks. But here's the truth most men never grasp. When she gives you her love, she's not looking for perfection. She's looking for presence. She doesn't need you to always have the right words. She just needs to know you're emotionally there. Because once she feels safe in your presence, she'll give more of herself than you ever asked for. She'll nurture you, defend you, inspire you to become better without even saying a word. That's the quiet power of feminine devotion. It makes a man want to rise. Yet, if you betray that trust, something in her breaks that no apology can fix. She may forgive you, but she'll never feel safe again. That's why men who understand women at their emotional core don't play games. They build foundations. They know that the same woman who tests them early on will later protect them like no one else if they prove they're steady. She doesn't need constant promises. She just needs consistency. So if she opens up, trusts you, shows you her unfiltered self, don't take it lightly. You've earned something sacred, and if you hold that space with care, she'll follow your lead with loyalty that outlasts desire. Remember, real strength isn't in chasing her, it's in becoming the man she never has to doubt.